Right-wing commentator Candace Owens is claiming the president of France has ordered her assassination, sparking massive concern and immediate infighting within the conservative movement. This story kicked off Saturday after Owens posted she spoke to a high-ranking French official close to Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron. She claims the Macrons have executed upon and paid for my assassination, specifying the green light was given to a small team including at least one Israeli assassin. Owens claims this official also told her Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. She promised to share definitively verifiable information with U.S. officials who reach out, saying her source provided concrete proof they are well placed within the French government apparatus. The bombshells continued as Owens claimed the payments were made through the Club des Cent, a famous French gastronomic society, and that Macron allegedly moved more than $1 million for her murder. She calls this a joint state operation, involving both a French female and a male Israeli assassin. Owens believes the motive stems from her months of investigations claiming Brigitte Macron is secretly transgender, plus her highly vocal criticism of Israel. This alleged plot sparked intense reactions online, everything from genuine concern for her safety to accusations that she is using Charlie Kirk's name for clout and money. You have people taking Candace entirely at her word, like Dave Smith, who says taking out Candace Owens will turn all of us into Candace Owens. But many others argue this is an obvious sign she needs help mentally, saying she is talking herself into psychosis, to thunderous applause. The grift accusations came swiftly from across the political spectrum. Big names including Representative Dan Crenshaw went after Candace, saying we all know she has lost it, but don't forget about her co-conspirators who are all in on the grift, begging for engagement. Trump's loyal foot soldier Laura Loomer publicly called Candace out, asking her to share the evidence she claims to have. Critics are saying it is beyond tacky that she is attempting to connect the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk to her crackpot Brigitte Macron series, and that she is simply throwing darts at a map. For now, it is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out, specifically with Candace Owens and the messy moving pieces of the MAGA infighting we are seeing. Next up in the news, we have to talk about the fallout following Marjorie Taylor Greene's unexpected resignation from Congress. Greene represents Georgia and came into office as one of Trump's most diehard supporters, but she has increasingly defied him by opposing U.S. involvement in foreign conflicts, demanding the Epstein files, and supporting the extension of health insurance subsidies. This led to Trump labeling her a traitor, withdrawing his support, and threatening to run a primary opponent in her district. She even faced a wave of death threats from apparent supporters of the president, and went on CNN accepting criticism for not speaking out against Trump's rhetoric in the past, and apologized, saying, "I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country." To many it seemed she was in for a long fight, but then her resignation came in, shocking many, including her own inner circle, who reportedly didn't know until 20 minutes before her 10-minute video and 4-page statement went up online. Greene took aim at the country's political system but had choice words specifically for Trump and Republicans. She stated, "I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back have all been welcomed in. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful primary against me by the president that we all fought for only to fight and win my election, while Republicans will likely lose the midterms. I refuse to be a battered wife hoping it all goes away and gets better." Beside Trump, Greene also shared specific criticism of House Speaker Mike Johnson and other Republicans for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save American health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. Many on the left were unimpressed, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who slammed Greene, claiming she carefully timed her departure just 1 or 2 days after her pension kicked in, and arguing her actions have not backed up her rhetoric, saying, "All her talk, she's still voting with them to gut health care." Jasmine Crockett also blasted her, saying, "You're on the other side of the president for 1 week, and you can't take the heat. Imagine what those threats look like when you literally are someone like me." That said, some Republicans came out in support of Greene, including Congresswoman Victoria Sparks, claiming, "Unfortunately, there's a lot of truth to what Marjorie had to say. I can't blame her for leaving this institution that has betrayed the American people." Thomas Massie, who regularly disagreed with Trump, said, "There's more honesty expressed in these 4 pages than most politicians will speak in a lifetime." Reports are now surfacing that other GOP lawmakers may be planning to follow Greene out the door, with one senior House Republican reportedly telling Punchbowl News the entire White House team has treated all members like garbage, adding morale has never been lower, and predicting Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel. Donald Trump himself celebrated Greene's resignation, labeling her a traitor, and claiming that she resigned because of plummeting poll numbers, saying she just didn't want to face a primary challenger with a strong Trump endorsement. He nevertheless added, "I will always appreciate Marjorie and thank her for her service to our country," and later told NBC News he'd like to see Greene resume her political career. Time magazine reported allies of Greene said she considered running for president in 2028, though she quickly denied that, calling it a complete lie. She is officially out of office on January 5, leaving Republicans with an empty seat in the House until at least a special election in Georgia expected in March. It is impossible to know what is next for Marjorie Taylor Greene, but options could include a Senate or governor run, or likely just going into the commentary and podcast space. This is a massive blow to Donald Trump's efforts to prosecute his political enemies after a federal judge just dismissed the charges against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The judge ruled that Lindsay Halligan, the prosecutor overseeing both cases, had been appointed illegally, and as a result the indictments she secured needed to be tossed. This is shocking news, considering Halligan is a close ally and personal lawyer of Trump who had zero experience as a prosecutor. Trump put her in as U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, forcing out her predecessor, who declined to prosecute Comey after concluding there wasn't enough evidence. The judge's ruling today doesn't focus on any perceived mistakes in the cases themselves, but instead on how Halligan could legally serve in the job. Normally the Senate needs to confirm a U.S. attorney pick. If there is a vacancy, Attorney General Pam Bondi can temporarily make an interim appointment who can serve for 120 days. If the Senate hasn't confirmed a nominee by then, federal judges in the district pick a temporary replacement. The DOJ, however, claimed that when the deadline expires, Bondi has the power to reset the clock, allowing her to repeatedly appoint an interim U.S. attorney for successive 120-day stints, which is exactly what she did with Halligan. Lawyers for Comey and James hit back, arguing that this effectively creates a loophole in the nomination process. In a ruling, the judge agreed, though the judge also denied a request to block the DOJ from trying to indict Comey and James under a lawfully appointed prosecutor. The judge noted that it might be too late to do so for Comey's case because of the statute of limitations. This is a clear win for both Comey and James. Elon Musk, intentionally or not, just exposed the house of cards that was right-wing Twitter, and we need to talk about what this means, why some are gloating, others are furious, and many are defensive. Over the weekend on X, they rolled out a new feature called About This Account, which tells you when the account was created, how many times the username changed, and most notably where the account is based. X's head of product Nikita Behar said this is an important first step to securing the integrity of the global town square. As the curtain was pulled back, it was immediately clear that a huge chunk of the online MAGA sphere, accounts labeling themselves as America First and American Patriots, were anything but American. For example, MAGA Nation, an account with nearly 400,000 followers, says it is from Eastern Europe. An account called Ivanka News with 1 million followers is apparently from Nigeria. Cold War Patriot, claiming to be a USAF veteran, appears to actually be from Chile. Countless other accounts with huge followings were revealed to be coming from Russia, India, Thailand, Turkey, Serbia, Macedonia, Morocco, and other places worldwide. To be clear, just because an account's location is outside the United States doesn't necessarily mean they aren't American, as VPNs exist. X has updated the feature so if a VPN is detected, the location comes with a warning. Nikita Behar acknowledged there were rough edges that would be resolved, but warned users to be skeptical anyway because misinformation spreads quickly. The team quickly debunked screenshots that falsely claimed the official Department of Homeland Security account was created in Israel, with DHS posting, "This account has only ever been run and operated from the United States. Screenshots are easy to forge." That said, some if not most of the revelations do appear to be true, since certain accounts disappeared or deleted all their posts after being exposed. What followed was vindication on left-wing Twitter, with people claiming, "This is total Armageddon for the online right. It's looking like half of their large accounts were foreigners posing as Americans all along." As for why these accounts were created, some say it's foreign governments trying to sow chaos, while others suggest it might just be poor people in poor countries trying to make money. This is especially true because X pays verified premium users in American dollars based on engagement. A few dollars is worth far more for a random user in Bangladesh than for an American. This does not discount the fact that there are also well-organized, well-funded foreign influence operations. The right's reaction has been varied. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna tried to spin this as vindication for MAGA writing. All these pretend pro-America accounts that were pushing infighting within MAGA were literally foreign grifters. The foreign op is real. But at the same time, people like Matt Walsh argue these debates are for Americans writing. If you're a foreigner, I'm sure you have a lot of great opinions about this stuff happening in your own country. Talk about that all you want, but the debates in and about America are for Americans. Mind your own business. The Malaysian-born right-wing influencer Ian Miles Chong shot back. American politics impacts the world, whether Americans like it or not. Americans have had plenty to say about what goes on in Russia and Ukraine and every other country. Walsh responded, "You've never set foot in America, and yet you spend every day trying to influence our culture and politics. I don't see why that might rub Americans the wrong way." Chong fired back. Talking about another country is now influencing it? According to Matt Walsh, welcome to the United States, a democracy so fragile that merely talking about it will cause it to fall apart. Outlets like Fox News and the Israeli Foreign Ministry mostly ignored the foreign MAGA accounts and highlighted the ones claiming to be from Gaza whose locations were listed as Egypt and East Asia. The UK, for example, has also seen this with the BBC uncovering pro-Scottish independence accounts run from Iran. This raises a startling question: how much of our reality is just a hyperreal Matrix-style postmodern situation? More than ever, it is crucial to be very skeptical about the information you are seeing and consuming, whether it be text or video, and think about who is behind the content and why they might be saying the things they are. Part of it could be about money, but part of it could be that they want Americans at each other's throats. You don't kill a country like America with bombs, you kill a country by letting it kill itself. You stoke the flame inside of the house.